This is The Wheel Weaves, a Wheel of Time podcast with no spoilers. Hey everyone, I'm your host Dani, and I'm the first-time reader going through this series chapter by chapter. As always, there's no spoilers past the chapter we're covering, and that means it's totally safe for first-time readers. I'm joined by my co-host Brett, who's a longtime fan, and he's guiding me on this journey. We'd like to acknowledge and thank our executive producers, Brandy Nern Kirkwood, Sean McGuire, Yanis, Ricky Morissette, Albert Lorenzo, Light Blinded Fool, and the Amerlin Seat. And before we get into things today, we just want to thank and welcome Jeff Maltaz and David Barkle to the Wheel Weaves Patreon team. Thank you so much for your generosity and support. We really, truly appreciate it. In this episode, we're talking about chapters 33 and 34 of A Crown of Swords.
Yeah, so chapter 33 is A Bath, and chapter 34 is ta'veren.
Yeah.
And these are pretty short chapters.
Yes.
And then, the best part about these is that we get to move on to the next two chapters.
Yeah, I know.
So.
You know what, though? That's my line.
Yeah.
I say things like that. I say snarky comments about the boringness of chapters, not you.
That's true, but I'm also saying that because the next two chapters were on my list of maybe picking them as my favorite chapters.
Okay, well, and I mean, I hope so. We're coming to the close of this book, so...
Yeah, we have like 4 episodes after this.
Something to happen.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's the thing about this book. It's all the after effects of Dumai's Wells.
Yeah, I know. We were just talking about this before we turned on the microphone, but It's literally been like 7 days.
Yeah.
Ish.
It's been not a week yet since the events of Dumai's Wells.
And the first half of this book was just recap about what happened in Dumai's Wells.
Well, and it's kind of funny because if we think back to Lord of Chaos, like tons of stuff does happen, and if Robert Jordan had have just put Dumai's Wells, like the battle at the beginning of this book versus the end of last book, it would kind of make sense for A Crown of Swords because it would just be like all of Dumai's Wells stuff and the week that follows.
Yeah.
Which obviously isn't going to be good for anybody involved.
Right.
So.
But then what happens at the end of book 6?
Exactly.
We don't have a climax.
Yeah. Perrin, chasing, and trying to come up with a plan.
That sucked.
Yeah.
That was the worst part.
That's why we had to have just one big long book. One gigantic book.
Right.
So.
Okay, well, why don't you start us off on a good note here?
Yeah, okay, so I have the return of horse facts. Sort of. It's like horse adjacent.
Okay, horse facts were mine, by the way.
I know.
Okay.
But we're returning to it because I got it kind of sort of.
Know.
Yeah. So I've been searching for this one for a little while, and I didn't know where to put it. So it's a bit of a callback to our Saldean army. Now you might remember way back in Lord of Chaos, when we initially had Rand, Matt, and Bashir and their little secret plan.
Yes.
And then the super duper secret, nobody can know about this, so Rand goes to the army to, like, inspect it or whatever.
Yeah, and then they're doing all their horse tricks.
They're doing all their horse tricks, yeah, exactly. The crazy horse maneuvers. They're, like, standing on their horses and riding in all sorts of funky formations, sliding down on the sides of the horses.
Why not?
So, it seems like there is some real-world inspiration for this.
Yeah, okay.
And it's very likely based on Mongolian horse culture, because Saldean culture is known for its light cavalry, lots of stuff about that, and Mongolian nomads have been considered some of the best horsemen in the world. So, the Mongolian Empire was largely based around their use of cavalry. The army revered their horses and treated them well. Every soldier had around 4 to 6 horses, and they would switch between them to make sure none died of exhaustion. But during the times of Genghis Khan, the Mongol horse archers would train and do things like slide down on the side of their horses to shield their bodies from enemy arrows. They would fire arrows back from under the horses' chins to return fire while they're on the side and at a full gallop too. And they could even do things like unsaddle their horses while they were on them, and they trained like this on their horses all the time. So they could also have specially designed stirrups that let the warriors control the horse with just the legs, so you could use your hands for things like archery, and they would often be standing up in their saddles. So the Saldean army and their horse tricks is likely based on Mongolian horsemen.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about that already. Did we have a big conversation in our Discord when all that horse stuff was going on?
Yeah, I think possibly.
I feel like I've heard this.
It was never an official fun fact.
And now it is.
And not everybody's in the Discord, so I gotta share the love for the horses.
What's everyone doing? Get in the Discord.
I don't know. Well, not being there.
Come join us.
Yeah.
Okay, now, the last time we were here, Laniv was reunited.
Oh my god, is that the new nickname?
Yeah, it sounds terrible, though. I was trying.
Yeah.
What else?
No, it's so short.
Yeah. Nine Nan.
That's worse.
Nope, that's worse. Yeah.
Okay.
Lan Eve is the name. So they are reunited. We got Lan. Super exciting. The most exciting thing that happened in this book so far. 100% super exciting. They were reunited after Moghedien attacked Nynaeve with balefire.
Yep.
And Nynaeve was able to surrender completely and beat her block once and for all. Huzzah!
Hooray!
Huzzah for Nynaeve.
We did it.
We did it. Now, Elaine got hers too, with the Kin Tower rejects.
Yes, awesome.
Plus, we finally have maybe, almost, probably found the bowl.
Yes.
Almost maybe.
Almost maybe, definitely, probably, and it for sure maybe is inside that storage room still maybe.
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 There
okay.
we go. Now, the last time we heard about Rand, which is relevant for these two chapters,
Yep.
was from Perrin's perspective, and Rand was shutting everyone out of his life, including Min. Plus, he has this grand plan about how to deal with the Prophet over in Gildan after staging a fake/real fight with Perrin and doing a fake/real banishing of Perrin from Cairhien.
Yes, and we learn more about that here.
Yes, we do. So, chapter 33 is called A Bath because Rand's stinky.
Yes, he's locked himself away.
He stinks.
Okay.
Now, the chapter symbol is the dragon, which is for Rand. No debate.
Yes, that makes sense.
So, we get to see how Rand has been doing in the days since he sent Perrin away on his secret mission, and it's not great.
Yeah, it's quite terrible.
It's bad.
It's really bad.
So, he's been hiding away in his rooms with only Nandera, who is allowed to bring him meals, which he's not even eating.
Yeah, he's picking at it. So,
Yes.
he's okay. He's a warder. So, they probably don't have to eat as much, right?
Oh, that's true.
Like, there's some, and he doesn't have to sleep as much technically.
Technically.
He's a warder. He's got the bond, so...
Still not doing well.
It's not good.
He still
for
has
sure.
to eat some and sleep some.
True.
And those things don't seem to be happening?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we also get that in the past couple days, at some point, he went to Ruidian, found his statues in the secret hiding hole over there,
Yeah.
and then zip-zapped back to Cairhien and made a new secret hidey hole
Yeah.
for those statues.
So we kind of do get a timeline for that because he thinks the night he sent the army in motion toward Ilion, he went to Ruidian and got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a secret little sly
Secret
tidbit.
extra plan.
Yeah.
Because maybe he needs... So that's what I was going to ask, is his plan to use that against Samael and Ilion? Because that was what the plan is, to move the army to Ilion and then, attack Samael or something.
That's right.
Or
There
make
was a
Samael
secret
think
plan.
that, yeah, to crush him somehow, but without the army, because Matt was thinking, oh, no army or something. So,
Right. Yeah, the army was supposed to be the diversion, but now the army's marching into Ilion.
yeah,
Maybe, possibly still as a diversion.
use the super-powered Sa'angreal to just blast all of Ilion and wipe it off the map.
No.
Okay.
Because do you know how many women live in Ilion?
True. Shoot, I didn't think of that.
You didn't think about how
Okay.
many women would have to die.
So don't wipe out an entire city.
No.
Part of a city.
Just the men.
Right.
They don't care. Rand doesn't care.
That's fine.
It's okay if the men
Okay.
die.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's what I've gathered here.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this hidey hole is with the power, and he has all sorts of traps around it, and he has the man and the woman.
Yep.
The two, Emmy
Yeah.
statues.
So they're the Turangreal that link to the big giant statues.
Got it.
Yes.
Okay. On Tremalking and
And?
at Tremoncian.
Boom, you did it.
Yep. Off the top of my head.
Yeah. So you don't think the one in Tremoncian, you don't think they've dug it out and moved it yet?
No.
Because that was the initial
No,
plan.
no. That was the king's
Yeah.
plan.
Yeah? Cauldron?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his plan.
Yeah.
That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
And then he died.
He's dead.
So probably that stopped.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work, yeah.
It was huge.
It's unrealistic.
It's huge. And it probably can't even move.
Probably not.
Realistically. Okay, so now every day, Rand is staring at these, and he's saying, "It's mine by right."
Yeah, super healthy. Yeah. He does a lot of really healthy things.
He keeps whispering to himself, "I am the dragon reborn."
It's positive self-talk. And I heard that's a good thing.
Yeah,
it's good to do that.
affirmations. Your
Yeah.
daily affirmations.
Daily affirmations. It's healthy.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you sure your hotel reservation isn't under affirmations? Because I see tons of those in here.
There's thousands.
Thousands of affirmations.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so now Rand is whispering to himself. He's also shouting at the walls, and he spent the last couple days in, like, rages. And he's not eating well. He can't focus on reading. He's not sleeping well. He's having bad dreams.
Yeah, normal dreams,
Yeah.
it seems.
And
Because
when
it
you
still
say
shields them.
normal, it's like things that bother you
Yeah.
affect your dreams.
Yeah, exactly. Not Forsaken type.
Not
Bad
forsaken
dreams.
dreams and not dreamer
Yes.
foreshadowing dreams.
Doesn't seem that way.
No. So he's dreaming about the Dark One, about Colavir,
Yep.
about his captivity with the Aes Sedai and the torture, which
Yeah.
makes sense considering it was a week ago.
Exactly.
He also dreams about his fight with Perrin, where he actually ends up killing him.
Yeah. Now, this is actually
which
where we learn.
get.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fake, but it certainly turned real, and that's what I said.
Yeah, because Perrin picked a real topic to argue, to fake fight about.
Yeah.
And then it escalated to this gigantic fight.
Yes. Not smart, Perrin.
No, pick something different.
Because-
But then how do you make it real?
Yeah.
How do you make it seem real?
I don't know, but I don't think he anticipated what actually
No.
happened.
No.
No, and we get here, too, that Rand is very concerned about the prisoner Aes Sedai. He doesn't know what to do with them.
Yeah, I mean, that's...
He's like,
and that's,
now what?
Yeah.
Now that they're there, like, they can't just stay there forever, but now what? What do I do with them?
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. It's tough. Also, LTT has been on, like, a mini vacation.
Yeah.
He is gone currently.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit unusual, I guess.
And concerning.
Are you worried about this yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm missing him.
Yeah, because
He
he
was
also...
my favorite part of Lord of Chaos.
I know, and he's got the bad dreams about Catswin calling him out on, like, hearing LTT in his head.
Yes.
That just happened, too.
Yes.
So, like, does that have something... Like, if you highlight the fact that it's... And then he's thinking about it, I don't know.
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But he's also dreaming of the Ashaman attacking the White Tower to punish Elida.
Right.
But then he also dreams of the Ashaman being destroyed by the Aes Sedai, and then him having to face the Aes Sedai alone.
Also bad.
Also bad.
Yeah, bunch of bad dreams.
So nothing good.
Yeah.
So now we get on the 4th morning of his aloneness.
Yes.
He wakes up, he tries to reach out to LTT. He's like, hey man, you there? It's actually quite sad.
Yeah, there's like one friend.
It's like his buddy who was there with him through this trauma, and he doesn't even have that.
Yeah. But is it good that the madman in your head is gone?
No.
At least temporarily.
No.
Okay, I just feel like maybe.
But Rand got really used to him being there.
Okay. I get where you're coming from.
He just wanted to kill a bunch of people.
He did, yeah.
But mostly he wants to kill bad people.
Mostly. Well,
And
you
anyone who
say
can
that.
channel.
You say that. But,
Yeah.
And then also sometimes it escalates and it's like, kill everyone.
Yeah, kill them all.
Yeah.
Yee.
Like it usually
Yee, but it's so
escalates in-
funny. It makes me laugh.
Okay. This Ilian plan is looking a little bit better now.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see. But now we get that Rand notices that Min is here reading a book waiting for him to wake up. And so Min tells Rand that there's going to be a feast in a couple days and they should go dancing, and she's talking like there's absolutely nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And everything's fine. And he's like, what are you talking about? You shouldn't even be here. And he's mad at Nandera for letting Min in because he said no one is allowed in.
Yeah, and he didn't specifically say no Min, but also no nobody,
Min.
and especially not Min.
No anybody.
Yeah, and then we find out, like, why
Yeah.
Rand has locked himself away.
Right.
And it's terrible.
Yeah. He starts to apologize and say, I don't know what to say. I shouldn't have done that. I'm a monster.
Yeah.
And Min does not know what is going on.
No, she doesn't. Because she clearly has no idea why he's locked himself away
Yes.
for 4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we find out that Rand thinks that when he and Min had sex,
Yes.
he thinks that Min wasn't a willing participant and that he forced himself on her.
Yeah.
And so he's like trying to apologize even though there's no excuse for what he did and he deserves to hang. And Min is very confused.
Yeah.
She's like, excuse me.
That's not how things happen.
Not at all. And so Rand thinks that Min should look at him like some kind of monster, and he tells her that the only excuse he has is the madness. And then he admits to her that he does hear voices.
Yeah, he does.
He tells her
he
hears the voice of Luz Theron.
Yeah.
But no time for that now.
No. That, like, gets passed over.
Completely.
Because of the big topic.
Idiot moron thing he's saying.
So, I mean, we can talk about this. I'm really happy that this really only seems to last a chapter. And, like, half a chapter of that, maybe. Because it's terrible. But also, Rand's in a terrible headspace because less than a week ago, he was being tortured.
Yes.
And it was I don't say a weird way to have, like, initiate sex, but it was in a very emotionally traumatic time for both of them.
Yeah.
Because he just found out, and she just found out about, like, Herod Fell being murdered.
And Colivir.
And Colivir being, committing suicide. So it was a bad time for both of them.
Right. But then that's what Min tries to explain to him.
Yeah.
Is say what we did was comfort each other. We were friends comforting each other in a time of need. We were both active participants in that. I don't know where you think I was during that, but I would never let a man blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I like his line about how he's so confused about how that could be considered comforting.
Sure, yeah.
Because he's like, if we were back in the Two Rivers, the women's circle would have my hide for thinking that was comforting.
Yeah, exactly.
Or something, and it's just so funny. And then so eventually she tells him that he needs to shave and he needs a bath because he stinks.
Yeah, and then let's move on past this quickly and never speak of it again.
Right, and it sounds like he's going to accept what she's saying a little bit easier.
Yeah. It seems like it was this thought process that really spiraled out of control that didn't help or was exacerbated by him
not communicating with anybody
and locking himself away in the room for 4 days and not eating or sleeping. So, like, it's not good.
Yeah. Also, Rand thinks about Perrin.
Oh, yeah.
And how Perrin has such a gentle wife.
Just like, oh, man, how does he get away with it? Like, come on.
And he also thinks about how Matt knows much more about women than he does.
Yep. And
Still going strong.
Yeah, it works. It works.
Yep. And then he tells Min, there's only one thing I gotta do then.
Marry you.
Nope, the opposite of that.
Other one, okay, right.
Send you away.
See you later.
Because being close to me is danger.
Yeah.
Plus, I can't control my temper, I'm going mad, and then Min stands up for herself, and she's like, how dare you tell me where to go and what to do and who to see and where to go.
Yeah, that's not up to, like, a little bit, maybe it's up to him because he's the Dragon Reborn, but also not up to him.
This is what I was saying, too, about the whole Barrel Lane situation.
Sure, yeah.
I was like, no, he does not have a right to do this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Now, one thing we didn't really talk about is the LTT voice in his head that Min didn't react to.
Yes.
Do you think that she just, like, didn't notice it, or did she tuck that away? Is she gonna, like, let people know about that? Because that is obviously...
she's not telling anybody about that.
Okay.
No.
Because everyone's already...
Min's not sharing anything about Rand.
Okay.
Anywhere. And it's likely she heard it, but it was also in the middle of a time that she was being told that she was raped when she wasn't.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna go with over her head.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair.
But she's also quite smart, so I wouldn't be surprised if...
I mean, it's a pretty big admission from Rand to say that out loud to somebody else.
Yeah.
And be like, oh, I specifically am hearing Luz Theron in my head.
Right.
So...
But he also says lots of things.
He does, and people are aware that he's, like, clearly having conversations with people in his head.
Mm-hmm. All right, anyway, so when Min is saying, like, you can't do this, you still need me, you let the maidens face all these risks... And Rand says, yeah, well, I don't love the maidens.
Aw, so sweet.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yep, there you go.
Said the L word.
Yep.
And then Rand tells Min that he's also in love with Elaine and Avienda. So he's even more of a monster.
I'm the worst person. Yes.
And then Min's like, whatever, the Aiel find a way to make this work. But
and she knows.
doesn't tell him about the viewing.
No, she doesn't. But she tells him that Elaine and Avienda both are also in love with him.
And he's like, what?
How do you know that? Like, why are you saying that?
I know. And then we get, like, 2 pages of, like, this back and forth about Min trying to drag Rand out of this, like, Eeyore mood.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So bad, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, I understand why Min maybe doesn't want to let him know about the viewing, because then it's like, oh, since the very beginning, I have known that I'm going to fall in love with you.
Right.
Et cetera, et cetera. And that's a tough conversation. So, you know, she did, in a lot of ways, let that relationship evolve naturally with him. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. They'll figure it out. Or they won't.
Or they won't.
Yeah.
For a while.
Yeah.
Although it does seem like they're back to Min on his arm.
Yeah, it does.
And that's nice.
Yes.
because she does admit that she loves him too.
Yes.
And that's nice.
It's very sweet. Okay.
Now Rand finally seems to come to terms with the fact that Min isn't going to go anywhere. And then Min makes this comment about Avienda.
Yeah.
And she says, I don't suppose there's any chance that she's super ugly, is there?
Like Nandera.
Yeah. All scarred.
It's like number one,
and
rude.
gross. Yeah. And Rand says, Min, I'd say she's as pretty as you, but how can you compare two sunrises?
Wow.
It's very poetic.
Good friggin' line.
And also gross, because it's describing her and another woman.
Well, you know.
You're equally pretty in your own ways.
But I mean, what else kind of answer do you want? No, you're the ugly wife? Like,
yeah. No.
What's the alternative here?
No, and I guess in the situation, it's sweet.
Yeah. That's one of those, like, there's almost no good answer, but this will be the best answer.
This is the best answer.
This is the best of a don't ask that question.
Yeah.
Well, see, I rank you by a system, not just based on looks.
Yeah.
Oh, man, okay.
Yeah. And at this point, Rand asks Min about any viewings that she hasn't told him about yet.
Yeah, because she kind of hinted that maybe something was left out.
That's
but
right.
We do get a really interesting viewing here. But before we jump into that, she says, hey, deal with the sea folk.
Right.
Because, like, that's a thing.
Barrelade left a letter saying you gotta get on top of this situation.
Because you have been avoiding them for a heck of a long time now.
Yeah.
So the viewing that Min saw and hasn't told him yet is, I saw you and another man. I couldn't make out either face, but I knew one was you.
Oh, yeah.
You touched and seemed to merge into one another and ... I don't know what it all means, except that one of you dies and one doesn't.
Okay. And Rand is like, oh, that's for sure Luce Theron.
He seems very clear where it's like, oh, I figured it out. I know exactly. So whenever someone assumes that it means something, you know, is he right? Or is this one of those, like...
throw-offs?
He's wrong. He thinks he's right, but he's wrong.
I think he's wrong.
Because then we've got, like, this merging of him and another face that one is him, one isn't.
Yeah.
And then one lives, one dies.
Right.
So...
yeah, no, I definitely don't think Luce Theron.
Okay.
I think that's... it's something else.
Because he's overconfident of...
You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of that whole Luke and Esam business.
Okay.
One lives, the other dies, but they both are.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Something like that.
That makes sense. Okay.
So it reminds me of that. But I don't know how that relates to this.
Okay.
And,
talk it away.
I don't know. Because I think the Luce Theron business is different because they share the same soul, right?
Yeah, well, they are
They are one.
They are one soul. It's the same soul.
They already are one. And they have been since Rand was born.
Sure.
Right?
We've gotten the whole, like, oh, you know, who's going to take over Rand's body.
But that's also Rand's crazy brain.
Yeah. It's like, oh, don't let Luce Theron have the power because then he's never going to give it back.
Right.
So.
Uh-huh. I don't know.
All right. It's
convoluted. I didn't think too deeply into it because, I don't know.
Yeah. It's convoluted for now. So
it is.
Talk it away.
Okay.
Anyways, back to the sea folk. Because if they're not with him, they're against him.
Right, but then he also knows the prophecy where no one can be against him.
Mm-hmm.
He has to unite all the world.
Yeah.
So
I guess. Like, does he, though?
That's what
he
it says.
To unite the entire...
That's how he interprets the prophecy.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, does he have to?
Yeah. Because
we don't actually have anything where it's like, oh, Dragon Reborn's going to unite the entire world.
No, but he thinks it does say that.
Yeah, okay.
So, I mean... I guess self-fulfilling prophecy, perhaps.
Okay.
If you go in as confident as Rand does in that meeting next chapter, which we'll get into.
It's like, gosh, just like,
then he'll just have everything he wants.
Yeah.
The only issue is those Gerstern, Shan-Chen.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Where are we here in this chapter, though?
At the very end.
Okay.
Because the title is A Bath. So now it's time.
Oh, he needs to have a bath. Because he stinks.
Yeah. And if you're going to go see the sea folk, like, literally right now. It's like, hey, that sea folk thing, we need to deal with it soon. He's like, yeah, right now.
Let's go.
Let's go do that.
I'm in a good mood now.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, you know, super depressed, and then he's going to go into this, like, super
manic.
peak
That's what it's
mode.
Called. That's what it's called when you have bipolar disorder.
Okay.
Is you have depressive episodes and you have manic episodes.
Okay. That kind of makes a lot of sense then.
Yeah.
Here we go.
We are... trying. Rand is trying.
Does he go back down after?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Hence the bipolar.
Right.
The two polars, end of the spectrum.
Gotcha.
Yep.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Now we get a page and a half of Rand getting scrubbed down and all the Aiel being very happy that he's finally having a bath, even though they don't like a person just sitting in all this water.
Sure. They'll take it.
They'll take it, and he starts explaining his plan about going to the Sea Folk.
Yeah.
And the chapter ends thinking that it's time for the Dragon Reborn to go see the Sea Folk in style.
Yeah, and I honestly think the page and a half description of the bath is kind of like to lighten the mood, because it was pretty heavy at the beginning.
Well, and it's like, ooh, he doesn't want Min to see him naked.
Yeah, it's like getting back into the playfulness of like, okay, this is, Rand, a little bit more happy-go-lucky.
He does eat.
It's okay.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Okay, so let's take a quick break and then come back and jump into the next chapter.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we're back and we're going to jump into chapter 34, Ta'Viren.
Yeah, here we go.
And the chapter symbol is the Sea Folk.
Yes, we've only seen the symbol once before.
Twice, I thought.
Once. This is the second time.
I thought it was twice.
Nope. That was actually one of the fun facts, was what was the only symbol we've only seen once, and it was this one.
Oh.
This is the second time, so we only saw it in The Shadow Rising.
Are you sure?
Yeah, the Wave Dancer, chapter 19. I don't like when you make me question myself, because
I know.
I'm very sure, because I tracked that.
I know you do. Okay, tell the people I'm right.
Yeah, you're right. I got tricked by my own note-taking, because I haven't updated for this book.
Yeah.
And we saw it in this book, too.
We saw it in
this
this
is the
book.
third time.
I really was sure. We've seen it twice now.
Gosh, I need to update my charts a little bit better here.
Oh my goodness.
Terrible.
Especially when you're going to come in so confident.
I know, and then you question it, and it's like, oh no,
that's because
maybe I am wrong.
More confident. See?
Yeah,
I took a lesson from Rand. Just go in super confident.
There you go.
Except I was right, so.
You were.
Yeah.
It helps when you're right.
It does help.
That's okay.
Okay, so Rand's perspective, we are continuing. We're ready to go.
Yeah, because we're going right now.
We're going right now.
Immediately.
We had a bath, had a good meal.
Little snack. Yeah.
Little snack.
Let's get going.
Got everybody informed on what's happening.
And we have a mini army.
Parade.
Yeah, a parade.
It's got drums and trumpets.
It does.
It's a parade.
Over 100 people. It's got
It's too many.
It's a lot of people.
I didn't love this.
He's going in style.
Yeah, and also, does nobody know about the not bringing Aes Sedai on a Sea Folk ship business?
They don't, and that's gonna be a thing that comes up.
And they don't care either.
They just have to go with it.
Yeah, well, the Sea Folk have to go with it?
The Sea Folk just kind of have to go with it.
And they really didn't want to.
That's why they have that quick little meeting. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, what should we do?
And then it's like, okay, I guess so. Guess this is happening.
Uh-huh.
We wanted the Dragon Reborn.
No, we wanted the Koramor.
Yeah.
They don't want the Dragon Reborn.
Well,
They want the Koramor. Just like the Aiel don't want the Dragon Reborn. No. They want the Karakar.
Same.
Same. That's right. Okay, so everything is ready to go. We're in the courtyard at the Sun Palace because we're off to see the Sea Folk. Rand has his 3 Ashaman here.
Yep, so we got Deshiva.
Yep.
That's the old Head in the Cloud guys.
Okay.
We've got Flynn, the old grizzled soldier guy.
Okay.
And we've got Narishma, who's a little bit older than Rand, and it's got the bells in his hair because he's Arafallan.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now we have Dobrain and his soldiers.
Yep.
Everyone here is cheering, and then we have 5 Aes Sedai who show up to meet Rand, plus a bunch of Aiel. Now we're all here, we're good to go.
And the 5 Aes Sedai, we've got Bera, who is in charge, obviously.
But no Karuna.
No, and we'll find out why in a second.
Because Bera and Karuna come as a package deal usually.
Yeah, she's busy. She's occupied.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. We've got Fealdrin. We've got Marana.
Yeah.
Who is the old leader.
That's right. No, now she's back to being the leader.
Well, she's not yet. Not at this point.
Right.
And then we've got Raphella, and then we've got Alana. So, those are our 5.
Those are the 5. Now, Rand asks where Karuna and Varen are because they're supposed to be here as well.
Yeah.
And they're not.
Yes. So, we've got Varen, who's off somewhere in the Aiel tents, questioning the prisoners to learn what their plan was once they got Rand back to the tower. Now, that's going to be interesting.
Yep.
She's doing like a little bit of snooping, so that's... Because
we'll
Rand thinks, oh, that could be helpful. Like, that's not too bad. And then Karuna is in a meeting, in quotations, with Sorelia.
Okay.
But it's like, what kind of meeting is it actually?
And no time to worry about that right now,
She's probably being punished for, like, being an Aes Sedai when she shouldn't be being all Aes Sedai-like.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Now, Rand has a job to do, so he doesn't care. He's like, all right, this'll work. 5 will work.
Why not?
Now, he super casually tells the sisters that Miranda will speak for them from now on, and they'll take their orders from her going forward.
Yeah, that's so good.
And they're all like, what the fuck?
Yeah, because they just had the hierarchy switch, and then Rand looks at them like, why are you guys confused by that? She's in charge of the embassy, so like, what's the big deal?
She was in charge of the Camelin embassy anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he isn't aware that they just like booted her right down to the bottom.
They really did.
And she broke down pretty hard.
Pretty fast, too.
Real
yeah,
fast.
She just sort of conceded.
And now she's back on top.
Okay.
And then they are sworn to listen to Rand, so like they kind of have to. They have to. Okay.
There we are. Okay, so now Min comes up with her horse that she's borrowing and mentioned she really likes it. So then a side note that Rand's just going to buy this horse for her.
Yes.
And now there's a few other side comments because apparently Min has had a conversation with Alana, but we don't learn any more about that.
Yeah, we don't.
Yeah, and we also get that we didn't talk about last time. We got the fact that Min broke into Rand's room essentially because Alana was so concerned for Rand.
Yeah.
Even though Min was like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
How does she know?
Yeah. So do you think anything became of that? Like, does Min know about
I doubt it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alana didn't give that up?
I doubt it.
She's been pretty forthcoming about that with sisters.
Yes.
But, yeah, okay.
No, this is different and Rand doesn't want anyone to know, so
yeah.
I think that Alana wouldn't tell Min, probably.
Okay, that's fair. Rand also has a new horse, Ty Daishar.
Sure.
Lord of Glory.
Lord of Glory.
There you go.
And now it's time for the whole parade to march off to the Sea Folk.
Yeah, I mean, keep an eye on the roofs because, assassination attempts.
Oh, yeah, he tries to keep Min and Miranda back away.
Yeah, like a couple steps back.
And it doesn't work very well.
No, not really.
Yeah. So now Rand is in the middle of laughing to himself about, possibly getting murdered.
Because the Aes Sedai aren't allowed to channel without permission. So what happens if one of the sisters like trying to figure out if she's allowed to channel while he's being murdered? And it's a pretty funny thing to think about. That's why he's laughing.
What he's thinking too, it seems like they're listening very well.
Yeah, like almost suspiciously well.
Yeah.
But we did get from their perspective that they essentially decided and agreed that they have to listen to Rand.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, and we got from somebody last chapter, one of the old ones with Elaine, Adelius or Vandine or something, they're like, we're pretty meek once someone tells us what to do.
Yeah, once we fall in the line, once it's decided, so.
Yeah,
that's what they've been trained.
That's what they trained to do in the tower. Is they're literally trained on how to take orders from other people.
Yeah,
that's essentially they learn the hierarchy, they learn the pecking order, and that's
you fall in line. You do it. So okay.
So anyway, Miranda doesn't like that Rand is just like laughing to himself, and she's like, "You should take this seriously because the Sea Folk are very particular people."
Yeah,
and this is another instance of an Aes Sedai thinking she knows way more than she actually knows.
She doesn't know anything.
No, she's right about this.
She is,
but she doesn't know why or how or when or who or what.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Rand just says, "The world is a laughing matter." And then the big procession marches through the city. We get lots of description. And then they get to the docks.
Yep.
And there's a boat captain who's going to take them out to the Sea Folk.
He's not super excited about his job, but he's going to do it, so.
Yeah. He's respectful and terrified.
Yeah. And we got to get there.
Yeah. So now while their boat is heading off to reach the Sea Folk ship, Rand tells everyone the plan. And the Ashaman seem to be on board, but the Aiel frown because they're being left behind.
Yeah, it is a particular plan, with only a few select people coming.
Yes. Doberrain knows that he's just here for show.
Yep.
But then Rand is very surprised by the Aes Sedai, who all just say, "Yeah, cool, we'll do what you say." And,
and they curtsy. Yeah, and he's like, whoa.
Without even a word of protest, like he's used to the Aiel, who are constantly telling him what to do and what not to do and questioning his every move. And then everybody else who's constantly like he's having to fight with to do what he wants.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, these Aes Sedai are like, "Yep, whatever you want."
Yeah, and it's like, that's suspicious. But then Min says they're going to keep their word. I saw these 5 in your hand.
Yeah.
So that's clearly a viewing that she had. So that's, that's pretty big. That it seems like we can actually trust these 5 Aes Sedai.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep. Now, once they reach the Sea Folk ship, Rand channels to make a bridge out of air to reach the ship.
Yes.
And now I had to reread this whole section because I was reading,
Sure.
and then all of a sudden they were just like walking on air, and I was like, hold on, I missed something.
Air bridge.
I know, I had to like go back and be like, what's happening? Who made this?
Sure,
What's going on? Because I just all read it all too fast. I was like, okay, get to the ship already. And I was just, doing my skimming thing.
For sure.
And then I went, oh, wait, what's going on?
I got a couple things to point out about this, because there's a whole bunch of information smashed into this
about
paragraph.
the not being able to make a longer bridge.
Yeah, so making the bridge of the power. So he thinks, if this was even a foot longer than what he's currently made, the entire thing's going to collapse.
Which has me speculating on how good of an estimator is Rand when it comes to measurement.
He knows how far he can channel. He's really good at knowing what he can do.
Is that like one of those block things?
Well, and that's the thing. It's like a limitation of the power, but it seems like it's not a limitation of like his ability. It's just like that's how it works.
Okay.
Because then we get a little more details where even the Forsaken don't understand why making bridges out of the air and fire, why it works the way it does. It's just that's what it is, because women can make longer bridges than men, even if they aren't as strong, but then weight doesn't matter because any amount of weight can cross any bridge.
Right.
So just like some, specifics for the power, I like to highlight it. So
yeah.
But I did want to talk about the prophecy, because we mentioned it a little bit earlier in this chapter.
Mm-hmm.
He thinks of the prophecy, the north shall he tie to the east,
yes,
and the west shall be bound to the south. But I mean, if we're going to be sticklers on the prophecy, it doesn't say he's going to tie the west and the south.
No, it just says they are going to be tied.
Yeah, it says he's going to tie the north and east, and then the west shall be bound to the south. But it's like, okay, that's a little unclear.
Yeah, and also nowhere does it say that the entire world is
going to be like,
to him.
So,
yeah.
Okay.
What about the south and the north being connected?
Yeah, what about that?
Nope.
The far east or the far west? I don't even know.
I don't know either.
Yeah.
I bet you do know.
Well, I mean, maybe.
All right, so Rand stops for a moment when he reaches the Sea Folk ship because he is shocked by the sight of them, even though they've been described.
Yeah.
And we know. We've seen them. Oh my
Colorful
gosh.
sashes.
Can you believe nose rings?
Right. No boobs, though.
No. But colorful sashes.
Absolutely.
Chains and jewelry.
Lots of that.
And then Rand announces himself and he says, I am the Dragon Reborn and I am the Koramor. And then we get Hareen.
Yes.
The Sea Folk Wave Mistress.
Yep.
Who speaks here.
Yeah.
And she says, I speak for the mistress of the ships.
And we know who that is.
Nesta.
So she's like the queen.
Ebudar.
Right. She's like the queen of all the sea folk. So of this wave mistress, and just to kind of reiterate the hierarchy there, we've got the sail mistress, who's like, captain of the ship. And then the wave mistress usually has a ship, but also is the wave mistress of a clan. And then we've got the mistress of the ships, which is like queen of everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Got it. Sort of. I don't. But
yeah,
that's
mostly.
Okay. I mostly got it.
Yeah.
But anyway, Hareen here welcomes Rand aboard as the Koramor, and then sort of like is surprised by herself.
Yes.
Because she's not supposed to acknowledge that he's the Koramor yet.
No.
Right?
And we get at the end that it's like there's Taviran effect of they're
Definitely.
She's saying things that she might not say. We do know that the Taviran effect still is stuff that would possibly happen. So it's not like there's no reality where she would ever say these things. It's just unlikely.
Yeah.
And he's twisting fate to make it just go easy for him.
She like lets things slip.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the other Sea Folk women introduce themselves.
Yep.
And I wrote this down.
Okay.
So because, I was so confused.
Yeah.
So we have Shalon.
Yeah.
Who is the Windfinder of the clan.
Of the clan, because we know the Wave Mistress is of the clan.
Okay.
And then her Windfinder of the clan is here too.
Which is Taval. Oh, no, that's Shalon. I just said that.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And then the Sail Mistress of this ship, the White Spray.
Yeah, is Dara.
Yeah, and the Windfinder for this specific ship is
Taval.
Exactly. So we've got two Windfinders, and we've got two Sail Mistresses.
Yes.
One higher ranking.
Yeah.
And they're all here on the one ship.
Okay, and the one who does most of the talking is the
Wave Mistress.
Wave Mistress.
Of the clan.
The head one, Hareen.
Yeah, who's talking on behalf of...
Nesta. Okay. Woo.
And that's why it makes sense why she's like, I don't want to be doing a bad job here, because Nesta is going to...
Hang me from my ankles naked.
Yeah, exactly. It's not going to be good.
No.
So,
But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will.
You're jumping ahead.
We will.
So now they try to tell Rand to come into the cabin alone because, it's not a big cabin.
Yeah. He'll be safe.
He's like, sure, sounds good, except for, then Miranda leans in and says, by the way, those Windfinders can channel.
Yes. So that's probably why they all tuck their heads together right when they notice that there's a bunch of Aes Sedai coming on board, because that's the secret, that the Windfinders have to give permission to let Aes Sedai on board because of the whole channeling thing.
That's right.
Yeah. So Miranda says, yeah, bring 2 sisters or they're going to have the upper hand. We got to, even out these negotiations.
And so Rand tells them casually, you know what? I'm also going to bring Min because she goes everywhere with me.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, okay. And he goes, and Deshiva, of course.
Of course.
Of course Deshiva will come.
Yeah, and he's like,
And then obviously I'll also bring Miranda and you.
Yeah, Rafaela.
Eeny, meeny, miny, Rafaela.
Yes. So Rafaela's agreeing, and the Aes Sedai seem like that was a good decision.
They're nodding.
They like it.
Yes.
Yeah, and we don't really know why, but seems good.
And the sea folk don't like it, but they agree to it.
Yes.
So now they head inside the cabin. The really small cabin, we get a description of it.
Yeah.
And the description is important here because Rand feels cramped. He feels his head, it's like he has to duck his head. Even when he sits down in the chair, that the arm locks into place.
Yeah.
And then his knees hit the table underneath.
We've talked about this before, but the Nonsuch, the ship replica in Winnipeg, you could go on the ship and see.
Yeah.
And I get that.
It's small.
Rand is much taller than me.
Yeah.
But I feel cramped on a ship.
And you don't have PTSD about being trapped in a small space.
Exactly.
Yeah. So.
I mean, I don't like being trapped in small spaces, but not from torture.
Right.
And that kind of thing. So
I feel like that ups it a little.
A little, just a smidgen.
Just a smidge.
Yeah.
So we also get that there are too many people for the amount of chairs in this place, so Deshiva stands by the door.
Yeah.
Now, Rand starts by saying, let's just get this done. The Stone of Tyr has fallen, the Aiel have come over the Dragon Wall, and your Jedi prophecy has come to pass. I'm the Cormor. And then the Wave Mistress starts to be like, yeah, but...
Yeah.
But then Rand just cuts her off. Yeah, but nothing. What don't you get here?
Yeah, this is happening.
Yeah. The Aes Sedai serve me, and so will the Sea Folk, and that's what the Jedi prophecy says. The Sea Folk will serve the Cormor. You're the Sea Folk. I'm the Cormor.
There we go.
I'm out. Goodbye.
Done.
Yeah.
That's how this negotiation is going to take place here. So, he really steamrolls.
Yes, he does.
And is it just the Ta'Veren-ness that's working, or is this negotiation strategy also working?
Well, yeah, the confidence is cool. He comes in and is just like, yup, this is what's going on. And he also really wants to get out of this spot.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So now Hareen is like, okay, yeah, but the bargain.
Yes, capital B bargain.
Yeah, the prophecy says you'll bring us to glory and all the seas will be ours, but if I don't make a good bargain, then Nesta's gonna hang me.
Yeah. Yes. And knowing Nesta, it's that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. And then Rand finally understands what's going on because she said that out loud, which she probably should not have said.
Yes. Very too forward for what's happening here.
To be such a good negotiator. She's spilling all the tea.
Yeah,
She's
exactly.
showing all her cards.
Yeah.
She's like the kid that I play Uno with who can't hold the cards, so he just lays them out on the table.
Yeah. Good strategy. It's bold strategy.
I don't think you understand how this game works.
Or is so confident in the cards that he has.
It's not that.
No matter what you do, I'm gonna win.
It's not that.
Okay.
That's not it.
Yeah. So this is interesting though, because the Ta'Veren effect, Rand picks up on it. He's seen it in action before, so he understands what's going on. However, Hareen doesn't know what's happening, and she starts freaking out because she thinks to herself oh, I shouldn't be saying all these things. What the heck is going on? And then she accuses the Aes Sedai of doing something and making her say these things.
Yep.
And then Miranda's like, well, it's not us. You're in the presence of the Dragon Reborn. This is what happens. Get used to it.
Yeah.
And then she asked for some specifics. So Miranda's gray, so negotiation's her thing.
Yeah.
From what is supposed to be, but Miranda's terrible.
We'll see. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah. And she says, hey, so whatever you agree to here today is binding for the Sea Folk. And the Wave Mistress says, yep. Every ship and the Mistress of the ships herself. Yeah.
And then Min does a little bit of comforting.
A little bit.
She reveals herself a little bit too.
She does.
She tells the Wave Mistress here that, yeah, she might get in a little bit of trouble.
Well, she will be. She's going to be punished.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she will.
You're going to get punished.
But eventually, one day, you'll be the mistress of the ships.
So, like, it can't be that bad.
Can't be that bad.
Yeah.
You're going to give Rand whatever he wants, so let's just get on with this.
Yeah, let's get this done.
And then Rafella tells Hareen that she can trust Min's viewing. Everything she sees comes true. But then Rafella is like, ooh, I heard about this.
Yeah, we had a little side plot where it's
Yeah.
like she's heard of Min's ability.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. Like, we know that people know of her.
And then Min's like, ugh, the more people who know, the worse this is.
It's gonna get out.
Yeah.
Cat's out of the bag again.
Yeah. So Hareen tries pushing back a bit to try to keep making this bargain, but Rand just keeps steamrolling and tells her what he needs. So, he needs the Seafolk ships to carry men or supplies anytime he needs.
Yep. That makes sense. You got boats. Gotta use your boats.
He also wants to know what's happening in Terrebonne and Eridomen.
Yep. That's bad.
Yeah. And he wants the Seafolk to keep watch as far west in the Aerith Ocean as they can, because the Seanchan are going to come one day to conquer them all.
Yeah, so half of this stuff is really bad. So, we got the 3 orders. Number 1, using the ships. That makes sense and is going to be good. But number 2 and number 3, finding out what's happening on the west coast and then keeping an eye out for the Seanchan, those are already like failed missions.
Yes.
Because she jumps in and says, hey, we already know that any boat that goes out that way right now
doesn't come back.
Doesn't come back. It's bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on, but
they
we
already
ain't
know
sending
about the
ships there.
Seanchan. Not good.
And we know the Seanchan are currently already here again.
Oh, yeah.
They've been here. They've already conquered the West.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
They've already conquered Tanchico and Amadisia.
Yeah.
From
what we saw, like,
seen.
Amador is, like, taking over now,
Yeah.
so.
Exactly.
Yikes.
But that's good for Rand to hear, but it's a little overwhelming. Because he's like, is it possible the Seanchan are here already? Because I have too many things to do. I have no time for this.
Mm-hmm.
And
yes.
so he starts feeling very overwhelmed. He finally snaps from being in this super cramped cabin for too long because of all of his PTSD. And he like fumbles with the latch on the chair and just ends up ripping the arm off the chair.
Yeah.
And then he goes, we've agreed that you're going to serve me. If there's more to it than that, then Marana and Rafella can deal with it. And then he gets up and he leaves.
I like this next part, actually, too.
And then Marana tries to stop him.
Yeah.
That's the part.
Yeah, I like this. Because she's like, hey, you should stay. You saw what just happened, the Tavernus, it's really good. And he's like, you're gray. Negotiate. That's your job.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't... This is what you're supposed to be trained for.
This is your thing. This is your shtick.
This is the only thing the Grey Aja says that they do.
Yeah.
So come on. So like I understand his point.
Yeah.
And also the funniest line of the entire chapter. Rand thinks, I gotta get out of here, and also a ship in the middle of the river is a very vulnerable place to be if one of the Forsaken decides to strike.
Oh, that's funny.
That is funny because if you remember,
Moghedien
exactly
struck a ship in the middle of the bay.
Yes, very vulnerable position.
Yes, true.
And it's one of those things where it's like RJ could have tucked that in there like before the 9U sequence. Yes. But he put it out, and it's like huge foreshadowing.
Yeah, it could have been. I know.
But then he put it after. So
yeah, I know. So Rand leaves the cabin with Deshiva, and then Min comes out of the cabin, and Rand apologizes for leaving her there, and she sort of laughs it off and says Marana's already going to work on them. And Rand thinks about how the Seafolk are his now, or as good as his at least.
Work perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, like, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, he's got a point about the prophecy, right? Like, does that count?
I know. I do think that the Nesta lady is going to really need a little bit more.
Okay.
She's also going to need a meeting with him or something.
Maybe.
I don't think this is like...
as settled as he thinks it is?
Yes.
He thinks it's very settled now.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, the chapter ends with him thinking, I'm Taviran, I'm the Dragon Reborn, I'm the Cormor. And then he says to Min, the day is still young. Would you like to see me settle the rebels? 1,000 crowns to a kiss. They're mine before sunset.
Yeah, this is good. So the rebels that are like hunkered down.
I know.
West Kyrian.
Yeah, I really think we just need to leave them be, and we need to focus on some other more important things around here.
Well, he's not going to lose 1,000 crowns. He needs those to buy the horse from in.
Oh, but doesn't he want a kiss?
Yeah, he does. But that's what I'm saying. He's got to save his money.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we go. Are we going to go settle some rebels immediately?
Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, we'll see what happens. I mean,
I'm so disinterested in that.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Okay. That's fair. That's fair.
Uninterested, disinterested.
Yeah, both.
I don't care very much about that. There are 4 episodes left of this. That means there's 8 chapters left.
7. Because the last one is a 1.
Is 1 chapter.
Yes.
Okay. So there are 7 chapters left. We are so close to potentially having the stupid Cloud Bowl in our hands.
So close. Will we get it this book?
I don't like the way you're laughing.
Man. Oh, I know.
I don't like how funny you think this is.
Oh, it's so good.
That worries me.
You don't even know.
A little bit.
You can tuck a lot of stuff into like a very few amount of chapters. So.
I know that.
Yeah.
But okay. I think Rand's feeling a little overconfident after this meeting.
Sure.
And
okay.
I don't think it's going to be that simple to just sweep in and...
But I mean,
unless he's literally going to meat grinder them. Like, I don't know what else he's going to do.
Oh my god.
Like, what's the plan?
Yeah. I mean, use your Taviran effect, go to them and be like, actually, you're back on my side, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. That should work. He's Taviran.
I'm gonna make you all be farmers.
Ooh. Right?
The ultimate threat.
The worst, okay.
Mostly give up all your lands.
I mean, they're already there. Just, like, pick up some farmland. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, probably not.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what to say, but I'm excited to read on.
Yes, these next 2 chapters, I love them.
Cool.
They're very exciting.
Cool. Well, last time you told me there was an exciting chapter, I said there are a couple things that need to happen, and one of them was Lan showing up in Abu Dar, and that happened.
Yeah.
So the other things that I need to happen are this Ilian situation, the Samael thing. Okay. We've been waiting on that for a long time.
A little bit.
Little bit.
It's a secret plan. You just gotta wait till it happens.
I'm wondering about Egwene.
Sure.
Where she is and what's going on there.
What the next move is, right? Okay.
Yep. I'm wondering about Morgaze arriving back in Camelin.
Okay.
And I'm wondering about Cloud Bowl.
Cloud Bowl, yeah.
So there's some things
that
I'd like to see.
I noticed you didn't say Perrin and like the White Cloak / Prophet, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Trifecta of disaster.
Yeah. That is a thing also.
Yeah.
That's a whole gong show. That whole thing is just a gong show over there. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, okay.
All right, let's go.
All right.
If I just list everything, then one of them's bound to be right.
Well, I mean, the things that these are events that will probably take place. Yeah.
Okay, so before you go ahead and conquer a whole nother group of people, I'm going to say that this is part of the pattern now.
Yeah, it's part of the pattern.
Thanks so much for listening, everyone. The Wheel Weaves is hosted by Dani and Brett, edited by Dani, produced by Dani and Brett, with Essen, Passion Socks, Mozyme, Moltude, Benjamin, Michelle O'Brien, Jamie Young, Cody Fouts, Megan Smiley, Jonathan Reese, Vince Lewick, and Margaret, with music by Audionautics. If you are interested in supporting us and the podcast and also getting some really cool exclusive merch and access to early episodes and bonus episodes, you can check out our Patreon at patreon.com/thewheelweavespodcast. For general information about our show and us, like how to send us shot glasses, how to join our Discord, how to get in touch with us, things like that, for all things The Wheel Weaves, you can go to thewheelweavespodcast.com. Please be sure to give us that 5-star review because it really does make a huge difference. And tell a friend about us because referrals really are the best compliment. Thanks again for listening because this really is part of the pattern now.